Let's be real for a second. If there is one woman in Fairmont Crest who commands absolute respect and demands perfection, it is the incomparable Anita Dupree. We have watched this incredible matriarch fight a grueling, terrifying battle against breast cancer. She went through the draining radiation, the lumpectomy, the endless hospital visits, and the sheer terror of facing her own mortality. Now that she has officially been cleared and declared cancer-free by doctor, Anita is stepping back into her power, and she is not playing games anymore. Surviving a near-death experience fundamentally changes a person's psychological makeup. Anita has realized that life is far too short to tolerate foolishness, especially from her own flesh and blood. She is looking at her adult daughters, Nicole and Dany, and she is absolutely fed up with their chaotic, messy, and frankly embarrassing personal lives. The era of coddling is officially over, and the era of Anita's ruthless ultimatums has begun. First, let us talk about the elegant but highly conflicted Nicole Dupree. Anita has a grand vision for the future of their family's legacy, and she firmly wants Nicole to step up and take over as the head of the Dupree Heritage Foundation. This is a massive deal, folks. The foundation is the crown jewel of their philanthropic efforts and a major source of their social power in the community. Anita wants to consolidate the family's position and ensure their legacy is protected for generations to come. But here is the kicker. Anita is not just going to hand over the keys to the kingdom. She sets a remarkably strict and non-negotiable condition. Nicole must completely settle her disastrous personal life in order to set a proper, respectable example for the community. Anita makes it crystal clear that a female leader of the prestigious Dupree family cannot forever hesitate in a ridiculous tabloid fodder love triangle. Anita drops the hammer and gives Nicole a hard deadline. She has until the upcoming High Society Gala to finally choose between Dr. Kiel Rollins and Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald. Can you believe it? Anita is essentially putting a ticking time bomb on Nicole's love life. She boldly declares that Nicole's indecision is making the family look weak and unserious. I absolutely love this boss energy from Anita. As viewers, we have been screaming at our screens for weeks, watching Nicole bounce back and forth like a ping pong ball. Anita is voicing the exact frustrations of the audience. She knows that stepping into a massive leadership role requires decisive action. And if Nicole cannot even choose a boyfriend, how can she be expected to make multi-million-dollar decisions for the foundation? Now, let's break down Nicole's agonizing dilemma, because we really have to look at the psychology of her choices. Nicole feels completely cornered, and honestly, I sympathize with her to an extent. On one hand, you have Dr. Kiel Rollins. Kiel brings undeniable warmth, intense passion, and a deep emotional connection. We all saw how he held her and comforted her after the terrifying tornado. He makes her feel alive and cherished. But on the other hand, you have Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald. Carlton represents absolute safety, stability, and a mature, grounded partnership. After all the trauma Nicole has endured, especially with her lingering, complicated feelings for her ex-husband, Ted Richardson, safety is incredibly alluring. She is terrified of making the wrong choice and ending up heartbroken again. But Nicole's romantic paralysis is not her only problem. While she is sweating over Anita's gala deadline, her ultimate nemesis, Leslie Thomas, is lurking in the hospital corridors, actively plotting her downfall. We all know Leslie is furious about her free clinic agreement being toyed with by Dr. Monica McCormick, and she is looking for someone to punish. Leslie is currently scheming to completely sabotage Nicole at Garland Memorial Hospital. Leslie knows that Nicole is distracted by her love life and the pressure from her mother, making her the perfect target for a vicious professional takedown. If Leslie manages to humiliate Nicole at the hospital while her personal life is in shambles, it could destroy Nicole's chances of taking over the foundation entirely. And if you thought Anita was playing around, you won't believe what happens next. Anita asserts her dominance by delivering a chilling threat to Nicole. She looks her daughter dead in the eye and tells her that if she does not make a choice by the gala, Anita will personally intervene and eliminate one of the two men from her life to protect the family reputation. This is insane. Anita's basically saying that if Nicole refuses to take out the trash, she will do it for her. I have a strong theory that Anita might actually prefer Carlton because he is safer for the family image, and she might actively try to run Kial out of town if Nicole hesitates for even one more second. The stakes have never been higher for Nicole, and the clock is ticking loudly. Now, as dramatic as Nicole's situation is, it absolutely pales in comparison to the dark, toxic, and heartbreaking crisis unfolding with her sister, Dany Dupree. Let's shift gears and talk about the absolute mess that Dany has become. As we know, Naomi Hawthorne recently discovered she tested positive for the BRCA gene, meaning she has a very high risk of developing breast and ovarian cancer. Naomi has bravely decided to take control of her destiny and is heavily considering a preventative double mastectomy. You would think a mother would wrap her arms around her child and support her through such a terrifying medical journey. But not Dany. Oh no. Dany reacts in the most narcissistic, appalling way possible. Dany vehemently and loudly opposes Naomi's decision to get a double mastectomy. She actually has the audacity to argue that the life-saving surgery is an unnecessary destruction of the body. Are you kidding me, Dany? This is where my blood absolutely boils. We are watching a young woman try to save her own life so she can have a future with her husband, Jacob, and Dany is reducing it to a cosmetic tragedy. Dany's vanity is completely blinding her to her daughter's mortality. She is projecting her own deep-seated insecurities onto Naomi, and it is incredibly painful. I have to say, Dany is quickly becoming one of the most frustrating characters on the show. Anita is standing by, watching this horrific display of bad parenting, and she is profoundly, deeply disappointed. Remember, Anita just fought a brutal war against breast cancer. She knows the physical and emotional toll it takes. What makes this situation a million times worse is that Dany also carries the BRCA gene. Yet, Dany is completely avoiding reality. She is burying her head in the sand, pretending she is invincible, and absolutely refusing to take any preventative action for her own health. Anita can see that Dany is spiraling, driven by a toxic mix of denial and superficiality, and the matriarch decides it is time to drop a massive reality check on her stubborn daughter. Anita issues her second and arguably most critical deadline of the week. She gives Dany exactly 1 week, 7 days to get an MRI and schedule an appointment with a genetic counselor. Anita lays down the law with a furious intensity. She tells Dany that if she fails to meet this medical deadline, there will be severe relationship-altering consequences. Anita threatens to officially and permanently ban Dany from having any say or interfering in any way with Naomi's medical decision. Anita is essentially stripping Dany of her motherly privileges if she cannot act like a responsible. I am standing up and cheering for Anita right now. Someone needed to put Dany in her place, and who better than the woman who literally just survived the disease Dany is ignoring? The conflict between them erupts into a massive, explosive screaming match that shakes the walls of the Dupree mansion. Dany defensively argues that she is a professional model, that her body is her brand, her livelihood, and her entire identity. She screams that she cannot and will not alter her appearance, treating the potential of cancer as an inconvenience to her photo shoots. It is a stunning display of vanity. But Anita delivers a legendary, icy comeback, reminding her foolish daughter that life is infinitely more important than a career. Anita points out that a modeling portfolio won't keep you warm in a coffin. It is a harsh, brutal truth, but it is exactly what Dany needs to hear to snap out of her delusional state. Dany's sheer stubbornness is causing catastrophic damage. This isn't just a disagreement, it is a fundamental fracture in the mother-daughter bond between Dany and Anita. Anita is looking at Dany and wondering where she went wrong, how she raised a daughter so obsessed with the surface that she would risk her life and abandon her own child's emotional needs. But the real victim here is Naomi. Naomi is watching her mother prioritize aesthetics over survival. This makes Naomi feel deeply, profoundly betrayed by her own biological mother. When you are facing a life-altering medical crisis, you need your mom. Instead, Naomi is getting judged and shamed. I predict this is going to push Naomi entirely away from Dany and closer to Anita and Jacob. Naomi will likely lean on her grandmother for the maternal support she is desperately craving. As for Dany, I have a dark theory about her 1-week deadline. I believe Dany will wait until the absolute final hour to get that MRI, and when she finally does, the results are going to be devastating. What if Dany already has early stage cancer because she waited too long? The irony of her trying to preserve her modeling body only to face a more invasive battle would be a poetic, tragic twist of fate that soap operas are famous for. In conclusion, the Dupree women are at an absolute breaking point. Anita is ruling with an iron fist, desperately trying to force her daughters to grow up, take responsibility, and protect the family's future. Nicole is paralyzed by a romantic choice that could define her career, while Leslie sharpens her knives in the background. And Dany is on a collision course with reality, risking her health and alienating her daughter all for the sake of vanity. Fairmont Crest is burning with drama, and we are here for every single second of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who should Nicole choose? And will Dany wake up before it's too late? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Beyond the Gates updates.